All right, so forget everything you think you know about a big night out. Forget the velvet ropes, the bouncers, the overpriced drinks. Tonight, we're diving into a whole different kind of party. One that lives in the shadows, that moves to a soul funk beat, and is fueled by this hunger for the high life. This is the story of the Squatter League. And that line really says it all, doesn't it? This is not your typical Saturday night. The Squatter League, they're on a completely different wavelength, miles away from the city's glow. They've carved out their own exclusive little world, hiding right there in plain sight. And the price of admission? Pure, unadulterated mirv. So, who exactly are these people? Let's pull back the curtain on this super mysterious group and figure out just what makes them tick. Okay, so here's the official breakdown. This is way more than just a random bunch of party crashers. The Squatter League is a clandestine collective. Think of it like a secret society for thrill seekers. Their mission? To get a taste of that luxury life, even if it's just for one single night. They're driven by what they call a hungry need, a mix of pure adrenaline and a little bit of rebellion. And they even have a creed, a kind of philosophy they live by. It's full of these cool contrasts. Smooth step, no sound. So they're stealthy, almost like ghosts. But at the same time, they're fueled by these huge designer hopes. It's all about this stylish kind of rebellion, a shared hunger for a life that's just right there, but out of reach. And they do it all with a smooth and sleek kind of precision. Okay, so that's who they are. But the million-dollar question is, how on earth do they get inside these, well, fortresses of luxury? Let me tell you, it is not luck. It is a carefully planned operation. They have this whole protocol down to a science. First, they wait for the dead of night, slipping through the shadows well after 3 a.m. Then they get a vantage point, climbing up to the rooftops to do surveillance, making sure the coast is totally clear. And then comes the master stroke, the skeleton key. See, this elevates it from just breaking and entering to like a full-blown heist. And you have to get this. For them, it's about so much more than just a free party. It's about tearing down the whole system. The fact that there are no wristbands, no velvet ropes, that's the entire point. Those things are symbols of a world they've decided to just bypass, creating their own version of exclusive. So once they're in, their secret kingdom just explodes to life. And what happens next is this incredible mix of living it up in luxury and these little acts of defiance. I mean, just look at the difference here. A normal club night has the velvet ropes, you pay to get in, the lights are blinding. But a Squatter League night, the soundtrack isn't some DJ. It's the sound of creaky floors. Your VIP pass isn't a piece of paper on your wrist. It's the skeleton key sitting in your pocket. They are literally dancing under a stolen sky. And man, that changes everything. And they don't just stand around. They fully immerse themselves in this borrowed life. One minute, they're making champagne toasts and eating caviar with stolen gold forks. And the next, they're sketching on a family photo, reading a private diary, or even switching out the art on the walls. It's this wild dance between appreciating the luxury and completely subverting it. And in that moment, in that space they've claimed, they're not the outsiders looking in anymore. For that one night, they are the main event. They are the stars dancing in a sky they took for themselves. But, a perfect moment like this, a stolen one, it's incredibly fragile. It's a dream that's built on borrowed time. And, well, the real world is about to come crashing right through the front door. And that's really the question that hangs over this whole thing, isn't it? The entire thrill is born from the risk of getting caught. But that same risk is what makes their stolen kingdom so fragile. So you have to ask, how long can a dream like this possibly last? Turns out, not very long, because then it happens. A flash of light cuts through the darkness. The music doesn't matter anymore. Blue lights gleam. And just like that, it's over. The dream is shattered. You can just picture it, can't you? The red glow from inside the party suddenly colliding with the harsh, flashing blue of reality. The fantasy just evaporates into chaos. Their secret kingdom has been breached. But here's the thing. Even then, with nowhere left to run, nowhere to hide, their final move is pure defiance. They raise their glasses, one last toast. They're not just getting caught, they're getting caught mid-celebration, owning their rebellion right up to the very end. So, the party's over, they're caught. End of story, right? Well, not exactly. In a weird way, this is where their story really begins. This is where the legend is born. Remember, a huge part of their creed was to be ghosts, to just disappear without a trace. They were supposed to leave absolutely nothing behind. But the stories got one last twist. They left almost nothing. And there it is, their calling card, a single painted tag. It's the one piece of evidence they intentionally leave behind, the thing that transforms their crime into their signature. And this legacy, it pops up in different ways. A little twisted smile drawn on an old painting, a simple tag left with a ballpoint pen. These tiny little acts become these stories inked, these legends bold, that become part of the city's folklore long after the sirens have faded away. And when you boil it all down, that's what this was. Not some violent uprising, but a riot of a different kind. A bold musical rebellion that completely shattered the quiet of the suburbs. So what are we left with then? Is it just a criminal act? Trespassing? Theft? It seems pretty straightforward. Or is it something more? By leaving that signature, they made sure their story would be told. It really makes you wonder, where do you draw that line between a vandal and a legend?